And part of me wonders, hey, did he just happen to do some investigation into our edge room because it's absolutely stacked right now. So I'm not sure what the edge room looks like in Virginia, but obviously jumping into the transfer portal is a big deal. Hopefully he can find the right situation for him where he's getting a lot of playing time. But right now, if there's one position group that I have very little worries about, it's our edge room. I feel like we're definitely 5-6 deep right now with some really, really good players, good talent. So he was set to visit from Elon FCS. Not going to happen anymore. Best of luck to him. Hope it all works out. Now, let's stick with the FCS, guys. If you haven't seen this, I put him here in the portal. Thanks to Chris Hummer for putting this out again. Tennessee State true freshman linebacker Sanders Ellis has entered the transfer portal. He posted 81 tackles and 14 tackles for loss this season. Was a finalist for the Jerry Rice Award given to the top freshman in the FCS. Yeah, sign him now. That's what I put in the thumbnail on my video. Yeah, sign him now. We need like 4 linebackers coming up in here. So yeah, let's definitely do this. Sanders Ellis, 6'2", 225 pounds. So he definitely fits kind of the physical archetype that we look for box linebackers to have. Looks like they haven't rated him as a transfer yet. I thought that we were going to see that, but from Gallatin, Tennessee. Okay, we recruit Tennessee really well, but let's take a look at what he's been able to do production-wise, okay, here at Tennessee State. Played 836 snaps as a true freshman. A lot of experience, okay? Let's zoom in here a little bit. Get my little tool out, because that's always fun. So let's take a look here, guys. Sacks, 2 sacks. Now let's take a look at the tackling. Like you said, they actually have him at 68 total tackles? Whatever. I know PFF's a little bit different. Okay, I'm cool with that. Missed tackling percentage, 11.7. You'll always take that. Only 9 missed tackles on the year. That's great. And when you look at him in coverage, let's continue to move forward. Sorry about this. Okay, gave up 30 receptions on 40 targets. Only 8 yards of reception, though. NFL passer rating, 105.8. So maybe that's something that he's got to grow in. Okay, I'm perfectly fine with that. I mean, this guy's a true freshman playing a bunch of snaps. He's going to get better in all phases of the game. And you see there, he lined up, at the edge, 45 snaps on the year, but mainly just the box linebacker can play a slot probably if he's covering a tight end that motions out or something like that. Had a pass breakup as well. So gave up 2 touchdowns. Yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah, let's bring him in. No doubt about it. You can see his grades on the year. Really, really solid, I think. 67.9 on the year, 71 against the run, 60 in the pass rush, and 64.2 in coverage. So that's really, really respectable. Again, guys, this is a true freshman. Sanders Ellis, one of the best true freshmen in all of FCS football. If there's one school that's been able to recruit really well and prove that you can come up from the HBCU FCS level and ball out, it's Colorado. We've had a handful of players do that on the Buffs coming up here from Jackson State. So Sanders Ellis, you got the first name as your right name. Sanders, let's make this thing happen. I really hope that Coach Andre Hart and Coach Prime, everybody in company, make it a priority to bring him in on a visit because, Mantrez Walker, why am I forgetting the guy that we brought in last year from South Florida? I think his name starts with a K. Anyways, we have like 4 scholarship guys right now in the box linebacker group, including Trevor Woods. So let's bring in Sanders Ellis. This is a guy that could play another 3 straight years for us and start for us. I think so. So, when you look at his tackling. I mean, yeah, that sort of production as a freshman, put up those sorts of numbers. I'm all about it. So let's bring him in. There are a few more guys that I did want to highlight in here on other possible other targets. Then I'll get out of here. Mentioned him yesterday, Tacario Davis, 6'4", 190 pounds. Again, 6'4", long, rangy, lanky guy. Yes, he tackles. I've talked a little bit about him, but 42 tackles on the season, 6.8 missed tackle percentage. So that's really good, or 6.7 rather. Definitely has NFL upside. I mean, I think when I was looking at the PFF mock drafts and stuff like that just a few weeks ago, they kind of had him right there as like a third round pick or so. Entering the transfer portal, maybe his draft stock isn't exactly where he wants it right now, but guys, don't get mistaken with me saying that as he's not good enough to play for the Buffs. No, 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 no. The fact that we're talking about him being a drafted player, that means he's a very, very, very good college football player. And man, I would be pumped to bring him in here. I know that right now it seems like Texas has the most momentum right now for going after him, the Texas Longhorns. We'll see. We'll see what develops there. But yeah, I would love to have him out here. Reception percentage, 54%. You'll take that NFL passer rating when targeted against him, 58.2. Gave up no touchdowns, also had no picks, 3 pass breakups. Yes, please. Yes, please. Now, shout out to my friend Andy. If we don't go in that direction, there is a guy that we could target by way of Virginia Tech. Mansoor Delane, or Delaney. I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name or his first name for that matter. But really good production here with Virginia Tech. He's played 3 years already, so he's definitely experienced, and I think we need some experience in this secondary right now with it being very green, being very young. We had a lot of leadership exit from us, but yeah, I mean, 47.2 reception percentage against him, NFL passer rating when targeted, 84.8. He had 4 interceptions this year. Now, does give up some of the touchdowns, 7 touchdowns. Okay. Whatever. 6'1", 187 pounds. So has that prototypical size that Coach Prime does target at the defensive back position. We'll have to see. 58 total tackles on the year, only 6 missed tackles. So has a great tackling percentage. You can see, I mean, has 79.4 tackling grade, 78.4 in run defense, and 66.4 in coverage. Played over 700 snaps this year. He played over 1,800 snaps in his career so far in the ACC at Virginia Tech. So really experienced player. This is a really great find from CU Andy. Great job. 4 penalties on the year, whatever. Who cares? What I care about is that I think he can play. So that would be awesome. Let's bring in him. Another guy that I have seen, involved in chat, stuff like that, DJ Harvey from San Jose State, same college as Cameron Scadaboo, if I remember correctly. So he would be coming up a level. San Jose State in the Mountain West? I think so. Yeah, judging by their schedule here. What did he do this year? Well, he had 55 total tackles on the season, only 10 missed. Reception percentage against him, 56.5. Okay, on 62 targets. Gave up an NFL passer rating when targeted of only 56.3. Really solid stuff. 4 picks on the season, 6 pass breakups, and only 3 touchdowns. So you take a look at his grades right here, and anytime, guys, you see blue, I mean, that should always raise an eyebrow, but he's gotten better every year that he's played. You can kind of see the grades and the stats go up year by year. Originally at Virginia Tech for a couple of years, then at San Jose State, so that might have something to do with it as well. But, I mean, these are substantial rating jumps that he's had, or great jumps. So coverage grade of 89.8 seems really, really great. 86 in the run defense this year. So overall defensive rating or grade of 90.3. that is elite in college football. So, granted, take some of these grades with a grain of salt, but it is a nice reference, just to see. And he also had a sack on the year. So, I think that's really exciting. Let's see. Who else we got? How about Sadir Mitchell? Seen him brought up as well. Interior defensive lineman, 6'6", 350. Guys, I want those big linemen. So we got the guy from Alabama, Jaheim Otis, coming over here for a visit. Hopefully he signs. He's like 325 pounds. If we target Taylor Shaw, I believe that's his name, Shaw, from UNC, he's 6'5", 330 pounds. Sadir Mitchell, 6'6", 350 pounds. I like the size, but, what do you do with that size, right? Hasn't gotten a ton of playing time at Texas, 53 total snaps in 2 years. But I'm not really going to hold that against him too much. Texas has one of the better defensive lines in all of college football. And so, yeah, I mean, there's not really much you can get from 36 snaps in terms of putting up the, stats that that you might normally look at or grades. But yeah, the grades don't look good. 44 overall defensive grade rating this year, 56 in the pass coverage, 43.8 in the run. I don't know. He had 3 tackles on the year, 1 missed tackle, 2 stops. But I would imagine that this guy was recruited very highly coming out of high school. And again, when you have a body of that size, that is not common. He's the same size about as Tre'Davian Sweat, who came out of Texas last year. I think he got drafted by the Carolina Panthers, if I remember correctly. But yeah, not nearly as obviously productive. But again, you bring in this guy, he fits a physical archetype, and then hopefully you help him develop his technique, his skill, all of that. So those are a few guys I got for you. I think that's all I've seen kind of in the news today so far. But yeah, hopefully we can see, the Buffs continue to make some more moves today in the transfer portal. Oh yeah, I did want to hit on this. Congratulations to Cardi Smith for being the on-3 MVP of the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star, practice week. So that's really, really great. Top performers. Guys, isn't this kind of weird how in Alabama, Mississippi, you don't see one guy signed with Alabama on this top 10 list? That's so weird. Yeah. Anyways, guys, we'll get to some of your comments, but this is going to be a fun week, I think. Be sure to smash that like, subscribe if you haven't. We'll see how y'all are doing today. TK is saying on to the next regarding Cazeem, had to be money. Yeah, well, I feel like, money probably plays a part in most transfers, on what schools they're deciding to visit, but also, yeah, yeah. Who goes to Virginia? Hey, somebody who wants to start. I don't know. Our edge room is stacked right now. And we also got like London Merritt coming in. So even if Cazeem was going to sign with us, I mean, I just don't. He might have an easier path to playing time at some other schools. It's all good. Reese, this is the thing. We haven't had any running back visits announced yet. Man, what the heck? Maybe we're just trying to focus on the offensive line because we've got a whole bunch of those right now. But yeah, I would like to see somebody brought in here at the running back position with some serious juice. Okay. Yeah, no steam yet with Andrew Gentry, Colorado guy from Michigan. I would love to see him brought back here, but haven't seen any of that yet. All right, let's look into Terry and Stewart. Let's do that. Give me 1 second. If I can spell his name correctly. Terry on Stewart. What the heck? I blame y'all. Y'all spell these names wrong. Here we go. Bowling Green. Give me 1 second, guys. Make sure it's up here. Terrion Stewart, 5'9", 220 pounds. So, hey, I like that. Over at Bowling Green this year, 160 rushes for 895 yards. Real impressive. 5.6 average, 6 touchdowns, 2 fumbles. Okay. 28 rushes of over 10 yards. You kidding me? Nice little breakaway rate, 48.9. Ran for 44 first downs this year. Yeah. Yards after contact, 666. That's great. What is that? Like about 3/4 of his yardage came after contact. I mean, that's really, really nice. Experienced as well. So I love that. 4 years at Bowling Green, responsible for almost 2,400 yards on the ground, 23 TDs, averaging 6 yards a carry throughout his career. Let's take a look at his elusive rating. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, this is cool stuff right here. 162.9. You can see has a real nice elusive rating overall as a career, 215.8. Wow. Look at his yards after contact per rush. Last year, 4.81. This year was 4.16. Still, that's yeah. Hey, I'm about this one. I like this recommendation. That would be fun. Let's see how he does in receiving as well. Okay. So wasn't really targeted in the receiving game. 1 catch for 12 yards. His 5 career catches for 49 yards. Pass blocking, though, 59.7. Okay. Did he give up any sacks? Gave up 1 sack on 29 blocks. Okay. You'll live with that, I guess. I don't know, only giving up 1 sack in his whole career, actually. Okay. So definitely live with that. That's awesome. Great find. Great find here, Reese. Terrion Stewart. He'd be the best running back for us. Hey, he looks great. Man, I would love to get another running back. I'd love to get another 2. I'm greedy. Hey, Shirley. How are you doing? But, yeah, Cazeem's going to Virginia, it looks like, to visit. So, best of luck to him. On to the next. Just Win coming in here with a nice little comment. He's saying, what are the 3 core things we have versus what you feel is needed considering how long the college football season can potentially be if it's a great one? Yeah, so let's just start out with positions of need, I guess. That's going to be offensive line, defensive line, and linebacker. Those I feel like are our biggest needs. Yes, it would be really great to have a game-changing running back. But again, as we saw more so in 2023 with a guy like Dylan Edwards, for instance, or even Anthony Hankerson for that matter, who had a really good year in Oregon State this year. It doesn't matter, man, if your offensive line can't block. So, yeah, outside of Jordan Seaton, I mean, if Jordan Seaton goes down, who's playing left tackle for us? Yeah, who's playing right tackle for us next year? I mean, we got some interesting guys, Cash, right? But if one of those guys goes down this year, I mean, we're very, very thin. So I think that's got to be a priority this year with the visits that we have lined up. It's definitely the case. Defensive line, I feel like they're starting to move there as well. Again, you want to be able to rotate guys in pretty consistently to keep those guys fresh. And at linebacker, losing a lot of experience. I think Levante Bentley was a 6-year player in college football. Nikhil Green was 4 or 5 years. right? So a lot of experience we're missing, and we need veteran players in here. What's great is that we've proven that we can find those veteran players in the transfer portal from the Power Five, the G5, even FCS ranks. Remember Roderick Ward coming up from Southern Utah. So yeah, I would say that those are the biggest areas of need that we have, especially with depth. I mean, those are the most physical areas of football, and you're likely to deal with injuries there. So we need a lot of solid depth. There are some guys, for instance, in the linebacker room that I'm intrigued about. Jalen Wester, Mantrez Walker. We got a few of these guys that I think have really intriguing potential, but we need a lot of depth because yeah, if one of those guys goes down right now, we're mainly left with walk-on guys at the linebacker position. I just don't want to, nobody wants to be in that sort of situation where we're relying on walk-ons that early. Now, in terms of the core things we have a bunch of wide receivers, and we're going to continue to bring in wide receivers as well, which is awesome. But I think we're great in the passing game. I guess in terms of one of the other things that we need, along with linebacker, would be tight end. I mean, we have like no tight ends right now, so we need like a handful. But the things that we got, I think, are really good. Are skill position players. Again, like our running back room isn't one that's got serious juice right now. I don't think, but I think we got some nice potential, and we could definitely see a better year from our young running backs next year. Michael Welsh, I think, will take another step forward, which is awesome. Isaiah Gustav will take another step forward. We'll see what happens with Delane Hayden. I know some people think he might enter the portal. I thought he would enter the portal, but we'll have to see. Brandon Hood, is another intriguing guy that we got, that we just haven't seen. So a little bit of unknown there. In terms of secondary players, I feel like the top end of what we have right now is really, really solid. DJ McKinney, Colton Hood, both of these guys I think got NFL upside. Carr Stoutmeyer has NFL upside. Savion Riley I think is going to be really good. And RJ Johnson, I'm still pretty excited about him, like from what we've been able to see on special teams. So, yeah. And yeah, the core things we have. So wide receivers, give me secondary players. We still need some more depth there. And edge. Edge, I think, is our strongest position group right now. We got 5-6 guys that can all get after it. And I think are going to continue to get better. And again, I think we're going to see London Merritt play his true freshman year. I don't think he's saying no to Ohio State and coming out here unless, unless there's a plan to play this guy, right? So it's going to be fun. I don't give a damn. Some of y'all CU fans are going after names. That Georgia D lineman has 0 production. Who are you talking about? Are we talking about Bear Alexander? Who are we talking about? Georgia. I'm not really sure. Hey, let's go. Thanks for the super chat. Diddy Truck. Thanks for the $20. He says, "Hey, Buff Nation, save time and money on your next truck rental from companies such as U-Haul, Penske, Budget with Diddy Truck. Do-it-yourself truck. Animated tutorial on the tube or inked in. Maybe LinkedIn. You meant to say that? LinkedIn? Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's an L right there. So, hey, that's cool. I wish I had that when I moved from San Antonio to compare prices of all the moving services. I had to call around all by myself and try and figure out the best rate. Found one that worked for me, but hey, you guys check that out if you're moving. Thank you so much for the $20 super. Anthony Manzano says, David, do you find that it's incompetence at the highest level that North Carolina had to go with a coach who has no college football experience and Bill Belichick? Okay, Anthony, I know I can't really, it's hard for me to pick up if this is sarcastic or not. But I'm just going to read this at face value. I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that they hired Bill Belichick. I think it's incredible. It's going to be fun. North Carolina is relevant now. And yeah, like they got nothing to lose. I mean, they're going nowhere with Mac Brown. They were kind of stuck in college football ACC purgatory for a little bit. And yeah, like why not? I think it's cool. I think it's funny because of, Prime paved the way for this sort of thing. So I don't think you're going to see as much doubt, criticism, hate for somebody like Bill Belichick coming into college football as opposed to Deion Sanders. There are a lot of factors for that are not fair, as we have talked about. Um, um, throughout this channel. I'm being serious. Okay. We'll get to it. But no, I think it's really cool. Like again, we're at Colorado. Again, why I I remember texting my friends years ago. It would be so cool to bring Deion Sanders out here, but there's no way in hell he would want this job. If you just think about doing things differently, and so it's like that entrepreneurial mindset. In order to sometimes in order to get to where you want to go, you got to do it an unconventional route. UNC isn't a college football blue blood. Like if this was a program, a blue blood program like Florida State or Alabama or whatever, like, yeah, I would be a little bit more concerned. But I mean, UNC is in a situation where a lot of non-blue blood schools are at, where I think it's totally worth the risk. Like, what's the risk in which it goes if it goes wrong? Like, what happens? Okay, you guys are continued to going to be where you're at right now. Like with Mac Brown, like if anything, it's going to raise the brand of UNC. It's going to get eyeballs and bring relevancy. And again, like yeah, Urban Meyer to the NFL, like those sorts of things. Lane Kiffin to the NFL, Nick Saban to the NFL. Those things don't really work out. But I think with college football becoming a little bit more professionalized, like I can see ways in which this can be successful. Now, I think the people who don't like this see this as, and I think that's fair. Bill Belichick, he's a really hard coach. Is he going to connect with the players? All of that remains to be seen. Let's see who he puts around as his staff, and see how he gets along with these guys. But in terms of his age, who cares? It's clear that he's a football lifer. I hope that I am 72 years old and still waking up to get after my passions every single day. So we'll see how it all works out. But I'm going to be rooting for it to be successful. I like to see people and programs take the non-traditional path to doing things, and just like we've had success with it here, I wish UNC all the success. I think that's a lot of fun. But I don't think it's incompetence at all. I just think it's that entrepreneurial mindset. Some people aren't going to get it, and that's fine. When you think about things outside the box or you want to do things differently. But I do find it funny, actually, that a lot of Buffs fans, like when I got on my show with Russ yesterday, it seemed like they all think it's just going to be a disaster. If there's any fan base that should be willing to, find the bright sides or maybe positives of doing things differently, you think it would be this, fans of this program. But we'll see how it all works out. I understand that Bill Belichick is not Coach Prime and that it's not a one-for-one fit on how they're going to do things. But I think there's enough similarities to where I'm interested to see how it goes. Hey, Gennaro, thank you so much. Yeah, it was a lot of fun going on B Watch show yesterday. Time flew by. We'll have to do it again, man. It was a lot of fun. Y'all go check out Sports Talk with B Watts, Bernard Watts. He does a great job, and we had a great conversation yesterday. So y'all go check out his channel. Hopefully we can do another show here at some point. Ducey? I'm sorry, man. I'm trying my best. Who are some of the stars next year now that Travis and Sanders are gone? Let's start with offense. Delane Miller, Jordan Seaton, Omarion Miller. Yeah. And Juju, I guess. Juju's going to be a star instantly, a lot of eyeballs will be on him. And then on defense, all of our edge players are really, really good. Samuel Okunlola is going to be fantastic. I think he'll be that main alpha in the room. But we got a lot of good pass rushers as well. Keaton Wade, it's his last year. It's time to go get yourself drafted, young man. I think he could be a starter. I think that also probably played a role in Deion Hayes possibly transferring out. So Samuel Okunlola, Keaton Wade, those guys, and our secondary players. Colton Hood, no doubt about it. DJ McKinney, those guys. I think those are going to be right now, our best players. Now, we're going to bring in some transfers that are going to be stars as well, just like we have done in years past. We'll see how it all goes. I think Carter Stoutmeyer could be a Big 12, all Big 12 caliber safety this year. We'll have to see. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Really, really appreciate you guys. This is going to be a fun weekend to see how things shake out. Hopefully we can start getting some commitments here soon. But Gennaro, yeah, let's close off with this. Colorado's only paying for offensive linemen, defensive linemen. Everyone benefits from the world knowing your name and getting drafted. Yes. And I think with the visits that we've lined up, yes, wide receivers, we're always going to be stacked there. But it's very clear that, hey, maybe instead of going after a top-rated guy or, like Micah Hudson, for instance, from Texas Tech, who looks like he's going to be going to Texas A&M, instead of that, hey, why don't we bring in Eric Rivers from FIU at the wide receiver position? And then we also go target Jaheim Otis. We go target these interior offensive line players, these offensive tackles, all of that. So I think that's where we're diverting our money. You can kind of tell with who we got lined up for visits. I feel like that gives you kind of a good gauge on what positions we're investing the most in. So, yeah. Hey, Diddy Truck, thanks so much. Do you believe that the Buffs' offensive identity will remain the same going into the next season? I think to a degree. Yes. We're still going to pass the ball. Like, don't get me wrong. We're bringing in a really good quarterback, and we might bring in Caden Salter too. We'll see how that goes. But we don't bring in all these weapons on the outside if we're just going to run the ball 75% of the time. My hope is that, again, we do see more balance this year consistently. And again, I want to see us run the ball more efficiently. So maybe we don't need 25, 30 rushes to eclipse over 100 yards as a team, right? But we'll see if we bring in some more tight ends. Like, I would love to see things kind of go a little bit more jumbo. I think some of the sets we'll run with Julian Lewis will be a little bit different than what we've seen with Shedeur. I don't know if Shedeur is the most comfortable under center. And I do wonder if that played a part in why we didn't see him under center really much at all with Pat Shurmur. But Julian Lewis is very comfortable under center. He handles snaps from under center at Carrollton and has done that for years now. So I think you might see things be a little bit more pro style, but don't get me wrong. I think post Shedeur, this is still going to be an air out offense, an air raid offense. I think that had a big influence on why Julian Lewis was really interested in coming here. You kind of get that air raid feel with, blending it with some of the pro style concepts that Pat Shurmur is familiar with. But yeah, we're still going to throw the ball around a lot. It's still going to be a fun brand of football. And I think that's what's really cool. This is never going to be a boring offense in my opinion. So yeah. We need a tight end though, guys. We need a tight end. Diddy Truck, thanks so much for the super chats. Highly appreciate it. Best of luck with your business. Y'all be sure to go check them out for your moving needs. I got to get out of here, y'all. Appreciate you guys as always. Traveling a bit today. Hopefully I'll be back this evening. Go Buffs.